Have you ever felt like you just can't stop thinking about someone? Maybe it happens right before you go to sleep, when everything seems calm, but your mind isn't. This person shows up in your thoughts repeatedly, without you calling for them, as if their presence is somehow connected to yours in a way you don't fully understand yet. It might not even be someone you interact with daily, but still, they're there, in your most private thoughts, invading your moments of silence and reflection. And then you wonder, why? Why can't I get this person, of all people I know, out of my mind? The reality is that this isn't just a coincidence, nor is it simply a quirk of your subconscious. This kind of recurring thought has a deeper meaning, something far beyond what the rational mind can explain. If you stay with me until the end of this video, I promise you'll understand the true spiritual meaning of constantly thinking about someone. You won't just decipher what might be going on inside you, but you'll also discover how these mental connections can be guided by greater energies that transcend the physical and the ordinary. Can you imagine what might happen if you understood the hidden message behind these thoughts? The answer might surprise you. Before we dive into the topic, I want you to take a moment and think about the person you can't stop thinking about. Close your eyes for a second and visualize them. Or maybe you feel something more unexplainable. What you're feeling right now is crucial because our emotions are one of the ways the universe speaks to us. But what does the universe want to tell us when it sends someone to us in this way? When a person is constantly present in our thoughts. To understand this better, let me share a story with you. It was a gray autumn afternoon. The wind was softly blowing through the trees, and the leaves were falling as if time was slowing down. Anna, a 35-year-old woman, was sitting in a cafe, distracted, watching the people walking by. She had been feeling restless for weeks, like something was missing in her life. It wasn't a lack of resources or love, but something deeper, something she couldn't even put into words. But there was one constant in her thoughts, an old college friend, someone she hadn't spoken to in years. Suddenly, she couldn't stop thinking about him. At first, Anna tried to ignore it. She thought it was just a simple coincidence, that her mind was playing with memories from the past. But the thoughts persisted. Every day, no matter what she was doing, the image of her friend kept popping back into her mind. There was something about him that left her unsettled, like there was unfinished business, though she couldn't remember exactly what. Finally, one night, while trying to sleep, Anna had a revelation. These thoughts weren't just hers. They were a sign, a message from the universe trying to guide her towards something she didn't yet fully understand. And that's how the universe works. Often, the people we can't stop thinking about aren't in our minds by accident. They're there because there's something we need to learn from them, something our souls need to understand. It could be that this person is meant to play a significant role in your life, or maybe they already have, but you haven't closed the chapter properly. On a spiritual level, all our connections, every person who comes into our lives, has a purpose. And when someone takes up so much space in your mind, repeatedly, you have to ask yourself, what is the universe trying to tell me? In the spiritual realm, everything is connected. Every thought, every feeling, every person who appears in our life has meaning, a purpose. And this kind of connection, where we constantly think of someone, is especially powerful. These connections are guided by energies that go beyond what we can see or touch. Maybe that person is going through something similar, perhaps both of you are connected on an energetic level that's not visible to the naked eye. But before we dive deeper into this topic, I want to talk about something fundamental, the law of attraction. The law of attraction teaches us that whatever we focus our attention on, whatever we think about intensely, tends to manifest in our reality. In other words, our thoughts are a form of energy, and that energy has the power to attract people, situations, and experiences that are aligned with our vibrations. If you are constantly thinking about someone, it's possible that this energy is attracting that person to you, whether in the physical or spiritual realm. But here's where things get interesting. Thinking about someone doesn't always mean you should get closer to that person or pursue a relationship. Sometimes, the people who occupy our thoughts are there to show us something about ourselves, to reflect some part of our life that we haven't yet worked on or fully understood. This person might represent an aspect of you that you're denying, or maybe it's a sign that there's unresolved business you need to address. Imagine for a moment that our mind is like a mirror. Every person we think about is a reflection of something we carry inside of us. Constantly thinking about someone could be an invitation to look within yourself, to reflect on what that person is teaching you. Ask yourself, what is this person showing me about myself? Why do they keep appearing in my mind? What lesson or message is the universe bringing to me through this constant thought? In many spiritual traditions, there is talk of soulmates or kindred souls. These are people with whom we share a deep spiritual connection, a bond that transcends time and space. Maybe you've known them in past lives, or you're destined to meet in this life to fulfill a joint mission. Sometimes, these people appear in our thoughts because our souls are seeking to reconnect, because there's something we need to learn or experience together. Other times, they're there to teach us an important lesson, one that may be painful but is necessary for our growth. But here's the deeper reflection. How do you distinguish whether constantly thinking about someone is a sign from the universe or just an unresolved emotional need? It's important to learn to differentiate between what comes from the soul and what comes from the ego. The ego often seeks control, external validation, while the soul seeks evolution, growth, and genuine connection. When you find yourself constantly thinking about someone, ask yourself, does this thought bring me peace or unrest? Do I feel like there's something I need to learn from this person, or is it just a desire to fill an emotional void? Personal and spiritual development is a path full of signs, and these signs often come through the people who appear in our lives, whether physically or mentally. Constantly thinking about someone is an opportunity to deepen your own growth, to ask yourself questions you may have never asked before. What am I really seeking in this person? What part of me is seeking healing or understanding? Asking these questions gives you space to explore not only the relationship with that person but also the relationship with yourself. And in this process of reflection, it's vital to remember that the universe is always speaking to us. Every thought, every emotion, every person who appears in your mind is an opportunity to learn something new about yourself and your spiritual journey. If this person is constantly present in your mind, don't ignore it. Reflect, meditate, listen to what your soul and the universe are trying to tell you. At this point, you might be asking yourself, what should I do if I can't stop thinking about someone? The first thing I would say is, don't rush to act. Sometimes, simply acknowledging and accepting that this person is taking up space in your mind is enough for the message to reveal itself. You can meditate on it, write in a journal, or simply observe your thoughts without judging them. Often, the simple act of being present with your thoughts will give you the clarity you need. But, if you feel there's something you need to say or do regarding this person, do it from a place of calm and clarity. Don't act impulsively, don't let the ego guide your actions. Remember, the goal of these connections is always growth, evolution. If you decide to approach this person, do so with an open heart, with the intention to learn and share, not to impose or control. And if you decide not to act, that's okay too. Sometimes, simply recognizing the spiritual meaning of thinking about someone is enough. You can release these thoughts with gratitude, knowing that you've learned what you needed to learn. Because in the end, the universe is always working in our favor, guiding us toward the people and experiences we need for our spiritual growth. Now, I want you to think again about the person who's been on your mind. What do you feel now? Is there more clarity? If this video helped you better understand what you're experiencing, I'd love for you to leave a comment below sharing your story. Have you ever constantly thought about someone and later realized there was a deeper meaning behind those thoughts? I'm sure your story could help others going through the same situation. And before I go, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel. Here, we talk about spirituality, personal growth, the laws of the universe, and how we can apply all of that to live a more fulfilling and conscious life. If this topic resonated with you, if you feel that you're on a path of growth and discovery, subscribe so we can continue exploring together. Remember, the connections we feel aren't coincidences. Everything has a purpose, and when we start paying attention to those signs, we discover that life is always guiding us towards something greater. So, I'll see you in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. We're in this journey together, and every step we take brings us closer to understanding who we are and what our purpose is in this vast universe. If you made it to the end, congratulations. You're one of the few people who have the capacity to maintain such focus. And, to let me know you made it, comment, "I'm awake," and I'll personally greet you in the comments. See you next time.